Welcome to the second match of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. The second best of 5 when Habitation Station spawning to the top left-hand corner in yellow playing Terran for clan Triple T. It's Grizzly. And to the top right in... Actually, that's not teal. Is it teal? It looks a bit different here. That's not the usual blue as well. So let's see it's teal. Let's say it's teal. So, playing Zerg in teal for Team Hush, it's NoveaStar. Woo woo woo! Okay, total hype. And there's the first Overlord moving across the map, while Grizzly is just doing a wall-off, typical standard thing against Zerg. And also telling us that she won't be going for any sort of 3-Rex proxy Reaper shenanigans whatsoever. And there we have the refinery in production, which she's going to need in order to produce her first Reaper. Once the barracks is done, there we have the hatchery already going down for Novea into extractor, into pool, usual standard opening for Zerg. Nothing all too unexpected. Grizzly just checking for the gold base, because you never know when a pesky Zerg player is trying to Bane bust your front door, but she's not facing Suno, so she doesn't really need to be that worried about it. So, SUV making it into the main base, getting a good scout, sees that everything is quite normal, getting the Reaper behind it. Actually don't really know how important a Reaper is if you actually decide to go for the SCV scout anyways, because that early on in the game you will usually just get all the scouting information you would want to get with a Reaper anyways. So to me it actually feels as if these 50 gas are just wasted. I mean, this Reaper just will not get you any more additional information. I mean, of course, you can just still send it in, trying to check whether a third base is really getting taken or not, or if maybe still some sort of early 2-base push is headed your way. So, of course, that's also a good thing for the Reaper. Reaper might even actually be able to just take out a drone or two here or there before the Queens actually finally manage to come out. Nice save there by NoveaStar, saving that drone, making it into a spine crawler. So now the first few lings are out. Okay, Reaper might actually just get 1 or 2 lings, even more, so still dealing some sort of damage, but that's still really not that necessary. And for scouting purposes, like I said before, I mean, the Reaper will not really gain you that much. Now the first Queen is already out, and thus the Reaper gets denied, has to retreat, while in the meantime Grizzly just managed to get up her command center inside the base, playing it the safe way. We don't really see that often anymore, especially if you are that double aggressively scouting with the SCV plus the Reaper right behind it. So if Grizzly was actually watching it, it seems as if she was, because she's really moving away that SCV into a special position. So I think she has seen that there also was a drone, assuming that her opponent would now go for a hatchery. Indeed, maybe even seeing the hatchery going down. Yes, she did. So that just should make her calm down a little more. Of course, she's still economically far behind already, I guess, since her orbital command now needs to be flown down towards that natural base. Yeah, it's the safer way to do it, but it's of course the one that hurts your economy more. So now finally the command center landing, while the third base for Novea is almost done, and only now can Grizzly really start to saturate these mineral fields over here. Might eventually just even think about, ooh, I don't know, where are the workers? I mean, it seems to me as if a lot of workers are missing. Seems as if Grizzly was just not producing, or yeah, was just not producing workers, while her main base was actually fully saturated, just waiting for the command center to land before she finally just started to take up worker production once more, and is now of course just missing a lot of workers here that could already boost her income. So now just, well, standing back for now, wants to wait until her first medevacs are out, and here they come. Double medevac production. She will have a lot of Marines out, will go for the good old 16 Marine drop, it seems. And we'll see. I mean, it's something that you can expect out of Terran players. So let's see how Novea actually reacts to it. She should know that something is coming her way soon. I mean, she doesn't actually have anything just lurking down here. She doesn't even have a Ling or something down at the natural ramp in order to see when the Terran is moving out, but she had some units at the Zalnaga Tower. She also, oh okay, fighting against that pesky Reaper over here. Grizzly just being annoying as hell, just walking down and up again in order to annoy these Zerglings a little bit, maybe getting them away from the watchtower. So now of course Grizzly just has to take the long route in order to get across the map, but might actually be able to deal quite some significant damage over at the third base. So seems as if, well, whoa, nice move here by Novea. I think she really wanted to check whether units might have been unloading upwards that ramp, or maybe it was just a misclick, I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to spread some creep over here and then just make the queen walk too far. Otherwise it would have just been a brilliant move. Unfortunately for her, the medevacs weren't even in range that far. Ooh, Grizzly just running right in there, unloading right next to that hatchery here. And now the 6th Marine drop is already in movement. Just Stim has already finished trying to take out as many units as possible here. Trying to stutter step back, just taking a few hits of these roaches, not really getting much killed anyways. So loading up the medevac once more, just retreating with a one that's empty anyways, and might just be able to deal some more damage later on once these units move a little bit more away. Maybe if another engagement happens somewhere else on the map, Grizzly might remember that there is a medevac hanging around and might be able to just send in a few more units. In the meantime, we have a siege tank helping her cover that main ramp. I actually think the siege tank is a little bit too far in front, or too close towards that ramp. I mean, it's pretty easy now for Ravagers to just get up and throw those biles down, and actually you will never be able to save that tank then. So you normally just want to have it tucked back a little bit more so that it will still be able to shoot down here, but the bale will not as easily just get this siege tank hit. So in the meantime, we have another drop of Marines inside the main base, and we also have another drop down here. So Novea decides to take care of that drop over here first. So in the meantime, she's actually just losing well, some buildings, maybe even. Well, it seems as if Grizzly was not really paying attention over here, not really focusing down, and even does not take down the Roach Warren. Are you kidding me? 25 hit points, man, or girl, in this time around. Oh, instead she just moves into the mineral line here, but chases the queen down. Unfortunately, queen not really the most important target, hasn't really managed to take out that many workers, although she really had the possibility to do so with the Marines just standing right inside that mineral line, and also could have been able to just yeah, with the drop over here, just getting into the mineral line as well, and then only later on targeting them. But now she will finally get it. Good move here. Finally getting the Roach Warren, and thus putting a little dent into the plans of Novea here, although she's already on 140 supply to the 97 of Grizzly here, having more army than the Terran already, way more workers as well, already planted down the 4th base. The only thing she needs to do now is saturate it, while at the same time she just definitely knows that there's no base down at the 3rd base. At the typical 3rd base location. She doesn't really know about the gold base though, so she might actually just fly in with that Overlord a little bit closer. Don't know if that Overlord would actually see workers mining, so then she might actually know. Okay, we also have some Marines standing over here waiting for these Overseers and Overlords to try to get in, saying, "Dare me, come at me bro, come at me, I dare you. I just will shoot you down whenever you get close to me." So let's see if this Overlord actually sees something. No, it doesn't. So just barely not close enough in order to see these being... Well, if you just look close enough, you can see that something is going on there, but only if you're actually really looking at it. So that's just the only thing. So she doesn't really know. Okay, ooh, even being quite uneconomic here, using the mules in order to get the rich mineral fields mined. But yeah, mules do not mine more and more efficiently from rich mineral fields as SEVs. That was removed very, very early on. I don't know if it was in HOTS or even in Wings of Liberty. I think even in Wings of Liberty it got removed. That mules... back then, mules were mining more efficiently from gold minerals than SCVs, but now it's just the same thing. So you're kind of wasting your mules on gold minerals. It's just better to use normal mules. Okay, now we have a big push or a big engagement in the middle of the map. Grizzly just trying to make something happen with tanks and marines, but unfortunately Novea just takes out these tanks immediately, not losing a lot of units over here. She's again just maxed out instantly at 10 minutes. Still sitting on 4 bases, could just easily take a 5th base right behind it, which I think she should be doing. She even split up her army forces in order to intercept any incoming drops. No problem to deal with this drop over here, and is now even moving towards the natural base of Novea, of Grizzly here, I'm sorry for that. Still not knowing about that ninja base over here. Still thinking that this base over here might be the initial 3rd base, but it's not. And woo, that's actually, well, okay, of course, Grizzly needs to try to do something, tries to chip away a few of these units, but has to be careful not to get trapped by that army here. So I think that's actually the best move, just sieging up the siege tank over here. Okay, Biles just raining down on the bunker and killing it, but still the tank is firing. That's actually the most important part. But finally Novea just gets up that ram, kills off that tank immediately, now just throws down some Ravager Biles, not really hitting that much, but Grizzly also needs to pull the workers in order to help her deal with this little Ravager forest, and even if she manages to get it down, I mean, Novea can just instantly remax, no problem there, and everything she kills right now is just a small victory in itself already. So Novea just goes down, sees that there's a tank on top of the ramp, so she doesn't really want to engage here. But like I said, everything she kills right now is just something that Grizzly needs to replace, but cannot, because she just doesn't have enough resources left over here. So more tank shots just raining down on these Ravagers, more roaches coming across the map. Like I said before, it's easy for Novea to just get up a big chunk of army whenever she wants to. These few marines over here will not really deal the damage. Grizzly just trying to lure her opponent into the tank fire again and again, but there will be a point when Novea just realizes that it doesn't really matter, now trying to bile down the command center over here. The only good thing for Grizzly going on right now is the Ninja Expo at the gold base, but she just doesn't have the production ready in order to make good use of it. Novea already even banking some more minerals and gases. Some of it was already banked up due to her maxing out at 10 minutes already. And yeah, the overwhelming forces of Road Ravager will eventually wear Grizzly down. GG, and Novea takes the first game. Echo is the second map of this best of 5, and to the bottom right we have our Yellow Terran Grizzly, and to the top left we have our Teal Zerg NoveaStar. Going for the double extractor trick! Bam, there she goes. While Grizzly just tries to wall her main base with the first few buildings. I have actually seen some Terrans trying to wall off immediately at the natural base in order to secure the natural expansion a little bit more easily. Of course, then you're kind of vulnerable to either proxy builds or also early pool builds. And you can't really be too certain what Novea is actually doing. I mean, Novea has shown in the past that she actually does throw in a cheese here and there. Not all too often, but sometimes. So yeah, maybe better being safe than sorry. So again, the SCV Scout by Grizzly. We'll see the hatch first, which is always, of course, a good thing for a Terran to see. Well, maybe not, if you decided to go for the wall-off. And again, the Reaper right behind it. Like I said, I don't really know how much I like this, the SCV Scout, in addition to the Reaper Scout. Like I said, the SCV will just not see anything that the Reaper will not tell her afterwards. Or other way around, the Reaper will not see anything that the SCV didn't see early on. Unless, of course, it's really a cheese build. And but then you normally just don't want to get in anyways. Again, then you really want to have as many units at home Anyways, so yeah, it's rather odd. You, like I said, I mean, with good micro, you will still be able to maybe just deal some damage here or there, getting maybe a drone kill, getting maybe a Ling kill, maybe even keeping the opponent a little bit busy, getting them out of concept or something. But I don't know. I don't really know if it's worth it. I think you could just invest all of these resources a little bit better here. So, okay, Reaper now having to fight against these Lings over here. Novea saving her drone, saving, well, one Ling only for now. Grizzly just microing nicely here. Will eventually just get 2 kills, which are just 2 Ling kills here. Hasn't really paid off yet. Nice snipe there on the drone though. That was actually quite nicely done. So if she actually manages to get another drone, this Reaper really has, or will have, paid off. So let's see, I mean, a little bit more damage here. Well, it seems as if now the Reaper will finally not get taken down. Nicely done there by Grizzly here, just moving around, using the Reaper Stare in order to get out. And now Novea can just sit back and start macroing once more. In the meantime, we have the orbital command morphing inside the main base. So once more, Grizzly decided for the safe. Alternative, for the safe route, for the command center. But of course, again, this will just delay her own economy quite a bit. In the meantime, she's already preparing for the first push, getting Stim out as soon as possible. Already has her factory down. Will probably just try to get her starport out as soon as possible. And there it goes, right after the reactor. And now she will finally be able to fly out that orbital command. But of course, the biggest problem once more, she will have the orbital command out. She will just try to throw down a bunker. She also has some units which are not in place, unfortunately. So just imagine a big little Ling Baneling counter push that hit right now would just be disastrous. I mean, it would just keep Grizzly from expanding forever. So that would really hurt. I mean, lucky her, her opponent wanted to invest more into hatcheries, more into droning up, more into getting her tech prepared. So yeah, no Ling Bane counter push by her, but yeah, it would have been just so easy. Just so easy to get through. And after just rushing into the natural, you could have just also still decided to Baneling bust the rest of the ramp here. I mean, Marine's not really keeping you from doing that. So, Roach Horn already done for Novea once more. Yeah, Novea likes her Roach play against Terran. She is already getting a Spore Crawler out to help her deal with potential drops. And maybe even Cloak Banshee play, which is not that common in ZvT anymore. But could still do. But still, I think it's... Oh, of course, the Liberators are also a threat. So against Liberators and drops, mostly. And even Banshees, if need be. Although they are not that common anymore. But yeah, the safety Spore Crawler against the Liberator is normally what you want to have. So, double medevac. Drop 60 Marines once more, flying towards the third base. What does Novea have so far? It's already producing 5 more roaches, 7 more drones. So Novea again will just be saturated almost completely at the 6-minute mark. So the only thing she now needs to do is not take too much damage to these 2 medevacs over here. Medevacs will now get spotted and then finally fly into the base. We have some Lings in position, also a Spine Crawler is here, plus we also have some roaches pretty close by. So seems as if Novea will just lose a few drones before reacting and pulling them away. We'll also lose an extractor over here, so nice little damage there by Grizzly, just taking the safe damage, just attacking the buildings she is sure she will be able to take down. Might actually even be able to just move around a little bit and focus firing down. And actually I think that would really be a great move, and then maybe loading in and flying into the main base would have just been also a great move here. I mean, most of the roaches were now just sitting at the third base. If you just load up and unload in the main base with enough of these marines, of course, the roaches, even with the help of the creep, would still take quite some time in order to get into the main base. And then again, if Novea just would have been, or if Novea had been too hectic in order to get inside her main base, she might have just forgotten to leave some units back, so you could just drop again once more over here and maybe even kill off that hatchery. I mean, killing that hatchery would have been such a great win for Grizzly here already. This way, I don't know. I mean, she dealt some damage. Killing off the extractors was quite nice. Getting a few workers, of course, was also quite nice. Novea doesn't really want to take the risk of her opponent flying in from that angle once more, so she just plants down the spine crawler and additional spore crawler and additional spine as well. But this time around, Grizzly managed to take a third base behind it, and this just looks way better than the last game already. I think what would be really important for her, knowing Novea's style, would be just getting out an additional factory. And unfortunately for her, it seems as if the siege tank somehow got stuck. I don't know, or maybe she just wanted to have it here in order to help her defend that mineral line from the high ground. That could actually be, but then this siege tank should also be sieged, I think. So let's see how this thing is going to... Okay, no, it's deliberately done. So she really wanted to have it here. Probably just forgot to put it into siege mode. And this was just an auto movement, it seems, of the tank itself. In the meantime, we have Novea taking a fourth base herself. Only a small drop with no tanks in the mix. Don't really know how much I like it, but she has a lot of medevacs around, so she will always be able to just retreat if need be, and I feel it will be needed. So nice little snipe over here to the left hand side. The medevacs, or the one medevac, unloaded these marines. It seems as if Grizzly is just waiting for her opponent to engage that position over to the left hand side, and then maybe to move in with the rest of the forces over at the right hand side. I think she could also maybe just get a good snipe on that hatch over here once she just moves in with these forces and then just gets all of these forces into the third base. But yeah, dropping might not be the answer for that. Seems as if Novea is just expecting her opponent to do something like that, since she's still having most of her army over to the left hand side. Grizzly doesn't really know what to do. She sees the creep, she doesn't want to get on it. So, command center being produced. I just feel another factory would be so valuable right now. Just getting the upgrades for the tanks, getting more tanks, getting the upgrades for the marines. But all of this is unfortunately a little bit missing. So, Grizzly just moved a little bit forward, tried to deny some creep with the help of scans. The army just reacts immediately, tries to chase these down, and that would have been the possibility for Grizzly to just do the multi-prong attack. Well, not really, there would have been enough roaches and ravagers and queens over here anyways. So yeah, Novea just defending perfectly here, just knowing her opponent's strength inside out, knows about the possible multi-prong harassment that a Terran can unleash onto a poor suspecting Zerg, which she's doing right now. So another nice little drop over to the left hand side, but again, Novea is prepared, has a lot of units to defend this, and Grizzly actually just loses all of her army units. Will now even maybe have to fly too close by that spore crawler, and maybe this medevac will get taken out, or maybe not. We'll see to that. Okay, Queen just over here transfusing the hatchery for a little bit, and now we have the big counter push by Novea. 191 supply to 145, 130 to 93. Only 1, 2, 3 tank, but the third thing is not sieged up. Yeah, the important part is that now the tanks are not really in a good position here, but the debris is already down. So that would just give Grizzly enough time. And now we have 3 tanks, not really that spread out. Third one, unfortunately, was not sieged. Ooh, Novea just engaging right in that sieged army. Unfortunately for her, just setting down the biles way too late here, losing almost all of her army there. And that was really the engagement that Grizzly needed to get herself back into the game. Wow, destroying almost all of Novea's army. Novea, unfortunately, they're making the big micro mistake to not corrosive bile the 3 tanks as soon as possible, taking multiple hits from them before finally taking care of them. So that really cost her a lot and was a very cost-efficient trade, but it was only one, and Grizzly actually needs more of those. Looks as if she just got overconfident by her victory here, thinking, whoa, that was close, thinking that she would have just gotten a big advantage here. Ooh, nicely done here, Novea just trying to anticipate which route the medevacs would be taking, trying to get down a few of these medevacs with the help of the biles. Fortunately for Grizzly, she just reacts soon enough and gets them out. Even separates 2 more medevacs from here to get another drop prepared. And like I said, I mean, what she really needs are tanks. I mean, the best thing against this composition, especially in the mid game, until of course Vipers are out, are tanks. But she only has 1 factory producing them, and 1 tank she would actually just desperately need is still inside the main base. This 1 tank will just get taken out easily here, only setting off 1 or 2 shots, and the Bioforce just will not stand a chance against Roach Ravager surrounding these units already, just having so many Roaches and Ravagers around. Good tank shot here, good tank positioning. Shooting at these Roach army from the high ground, and then of course as a Zerg player you don't really know how many more tanks are right behind this one, so you rather want to retreat, especially if you have to take care of another drop inside the natural base with the help of another tank here. So 15 workers in the meantime have fallen. Nice little move there by Grizzly, finally getting some work done, and Novea now down to 40 workers to the 52 of Grizzly. If we just have a look at the income tab, we see that Terran is actually even ahead in everything, also due to the help of mules, additionally to having more workers anyways. Still, this counter push could actually just also deal some damage, but yeah, there's still 1 tank siege up. I mean, just the idea of having like maybe 2 or 3 more tanks around, a little bit closer to the front, how easily they would just deal with the Ravagers over here. It seems as if the Ravagers for now just want to get through this debris over here, trying to kill that 4th base in preparation, and maybe even the 3rd one as well. So Grizzly really needs to get her tanks into position. She can't just fight this army with Bio alone, but again, just doing it nicely, just trying to lure her opponent into the siege tank fire again and again. But once Novea actually decides once Novea actually decides to get up the ramp because she sees that there's nothing there, then she can just move in, and now it will just be so much more difficult for Grizzly to set up that position, since she would have to first unsiege that tank and then re-siege it close towards these Ravagers, which would just give Novea the time in order to get closer and kill it off before it could eventually siege. Yeah, and that's of course the terrible position now for Grizzly, losing her 3rd base over here, even though the overcommand is not dead yet, and she will probably be able to just get it back into the safety of her natural home, but into her, of her main base. Okay, good thing over here is that she still managed to sneak in this base over here once more. So I don't actually know why Grizzly is really scanning. I mean, this is really odd. Does she suspect her opponent to have like Burrow there? Seems like it. So yeah, unfortunately for Grizzly, Novea just sniffs out the Ninja Expo immediately. Will maybe even be able to kill it down. Oh, Grizzly just counter-repairing with most of these mules, so we'll probably be able to save it. I don't really know if it's going to matter though. Once more, we just have a small bio force, but the damage output of the bio is still just too small. The army forces are just not big enough, will not be able to get a good concave. Now the bio's even hitting some of these medevacs, and the medevacs, no, actually energy is there enough. Okay, and again, see, the tank just gets having to siege up the tank at the position. I mean, she needed a tank to deal some more damage, but it just got thrown down and sieged up too frantically. GG, and Novea, after a huge fight of Grizzly, just takes the 2nd game as well. We're on Daybreak, the 3rd map of our best of 5. Leading 2-0 is NoveaStar. And being down 0-2, which is only a logical assumption after the first sentence I said, is Grizzly. Needs to win 3 games in a row. Something, I don't know if it has actually ever even occurred in the FSL, that a player was up 2-0 but then lost 3-2. I don't know if that has ever happened in all of the FSL seasons and season days. Maybe someone could just go through all of the vaults and look for that. But of course you would only need to look for the 3-2 matches. But yeah, I don't know if this has actually ever happened. It's going to be a tough task. Let's see if she can just start with a baby step and win her first map in this best of 5, which would already be a big success. So, same opening for Grizzly. Again, going for the Worker Scout. While Novea just does the typical Zerg opening. Hatch first, into pool, into gas, into pool. Nothing all too special here. And bringing some Overlords into position already, while the SCV Scout just moves across the map. Overall command being morphed. Second command center already in production, while the first Reaper will help her to tuck her opponent back a little bit. So knowing Novea, she should just start to expand soon. So let's see. Spawning pool getting... I don't really know what she does here. Okay, has 2 drones. Does she just want to transfer them? Okay, yeah, she just transfers them. So she will have a better saturation at all of these bases, or the most optimal. So yeah, okay, Grizzly just realizing what her opponent was trying to do here. So seems as if, whoa, NoveaStar can just barely save her hatch drone, but of course will not be able to produce a hatchery over there. So let's see. Well, unfortunately, also now lose the drone. The extractor will get done, and she can't really she can't really cancel that extractor as long as the Reaper is still firing on it. So that's of course an unfortunate thing for her. So she, in a way, she saved the drone, but then she lost it again. Will this Reaper actually get this extractor down? Hopefully not. I mean, Novea has some links, but they are still slow links. So does she really want to let this extractor die over here? It seems as if. No, finally the links are moving in. Here they come, and oh, Grizzly, ooh, nice map awareness there by Grizzly, even realizing what is going on, but unfortunately the links now have speed, so she's going to lose that Reaper with not really accomplishing that much. Well, actually it denied that base for quite some time, so don't get me wrong. That was actually also a very big thing here. I mean, for almost about a minute this hatch is now delayed, or has been delayed now, so very nice move there with the Reaper over there, just catching NoveaStar a little bit off guard, maybe even knowing her a little bit too well, knowing when she usually just expands, and denying that because of that knowledge. So just having a little look at, yeah, just have a look at the Overlord spreading. So a lot of things that Novea actually sees, but unfortunately she doesn't really see when her opponent is moving out, which is happening right now. So we can see it. I mean, this Overlord position is quite odd. You usually just want to have the Overlord over here, so that it grants you vision of that ramp, and once your opponent moves out, you will just immediately see it. So yeah, a little bit odd. So this way, she doesn't really know about that push that's coming towards her third base. I mean, these Marines will probably not be enough in order to take out that base over here. It depends. I mean, there's not many units there for Novea as well. So yeah, this actually comes totally unprepared, and Grizzly manages to cancel the third base. Wow, huge hit there for her, even leaving a Marine behind. That will just give her information when Novea tries to take this once more. So wow, this evens things out a lot. I mean, now we finally have Stimpact finish. Supply block, very critical there for Grizzly using the supply cooldown, but supply blocked in immediately again, so just unfortunately forgot to throw down her supply depots, which just sets her back by a little bit. So Marine gets killed by the Zerglings, and now finally Novea can get up her hatchery. Maybe this time it's going to get through. So yeah, small little victories there for Grizzly here, just denying that base for quite so long. Nicely done there by her. So let's see what she can do from here on out. I mean, she's still behind in supply, she's still behind in workers, is not producing workers right now. This is really an uncharacteristic mistake here by Grizzly. I mean, it has been a quite common mistake by her throughout Season 2, but in Season 1 she was way better at keeping that in mind. But yeah, I mean, just have a look, there's just one worker being produced at a time. And I don't really know where that worker is actually being sent to. It seems as if it just actually was sent to the already saturated mineral line. So yeah, I mean, just having huge gaps in the worker production is just setting her behind so much already. She could have just could have just worked herself into a way better position at that point in time if she just had kept up with her macro here. That is so... Oh, so sad actually just to see it. I mean, like I said, she dealt tremendous amount of damage. She just kept her opponent back. She just made her cancel her third base while it was almost finished, made her to retake it and completely rebuild it. And now this army is also out of position, so this Overlord will just see the drop incoming at the last moment. Now Novea just puts herself in place, but the drop is already going on. Let's see how much damage the Grizzly can actually deal with that. I mean, the halberds are not really that helpful. Will actually just get taken out without any problems. Biles raining down, almost on the own queens here. So yeah, not really that much accomplished with that little drop over here. Still a nice try to do so, but in the meantime she's just gathering a lot of resources, just banking up a lot of stuff. Third base already ready, but it has been built inside her main base, so it will just take forever to fly over to that third base location. Or that one, but that one would be totally insecure, so nothing she really wants to do. I like this idea of the Viking here, just clearing off the overlords, denying vision, and there's not much that Novea can actually do against this. So yeah, nice little move there. I think she should actually just fly around a little bit more across the map, just trying to clear more overlords. Like I said before, there are typical positions where a Zerg player would usually put her overlords, so I think you should just try to fly across them and try to deal some more damage. So it seems as if Grizzly also tried to deal some more damage with a drop over here to the right hand side. Didn't really get that much done, but Novea has learned her lesson and is now planting down a spine and a spore crawler to help out against these pesky drops. In the meantime, we had a little engagement over here at the watchtower. Nothing all too critical, but something that helps Grizzly to contain the creep. And in the meantime, she finally managed to fly over the lame-ass orbital command towards the third base location. So from now on out, things could start to work. Okay, this is actually quite an interesting idea. Just going into the mass cyclone build here. Don't really know how much I like this, especially against a very roach-heavy composition, with Novea already having that many roaches out. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, the third base has been established. Now the roaches get out, actually intercept or actually just catch all of these units off guard over at the watchtower. Now the units move in. This is not a really strong force here, so I'm afraid this will not really accomplish much. I mean, the Liberators deal a lot of damage once they start focus firing stuff, but now these army units actually even get sandwiched here, and a lot of units just die instantly before the rest of them can at least load in and fly out. But yeah, there's two cyclones. It was a nice idea trying to switch things up, but with the composition that Novea actually had, I don't, and Grizzly also knowing that Novea was going for Roach Ravager, I don't think starting the Cyclone production from that point in time when she started was actually the smartest idea. So now she wants to get the Fusion Core and the Liberators, so it seems as if she just wants to get Liberators with the Liberator upgrade, maybe even transitioning into Battle Cruisers. We'll see to that. Seems as if Grizzly just wants to copy Nathanias here a little bit. without really copying him, since she didn't really commit to the Cyclone builds early on, or just rushing to carriers, because you can't really call that a rush. And Novea just takes her just takes the opportunity of being maxed to get into the base, the natural base of Grizzly here. So just takes down the Liberator with ease using the corrosive biles. And like I said before, the army she has, I mean, it's neither fish nor meat. So, she just rains down a lot of biles, and again, she has the big opportunity to just trade even cost unofficially, it doesn't really matter. And without any tanks here to support the base, the Cyclones alone just will never deal enough damage against this Roach Ravager force. So, Grizzly even has to evacuate her natural base once more. Novea already sniffs out what's going on, realizes that there's probably a third base down here over to the left hand side, so she just leaves everything in peace over here and moves over to kill off more workers and deny the third base mining once more. Might even actually be able to bile down that old command, so Grizzly just tries to move around the command center so it just won't get hit by too many bile shots. Novea just gives up the plan for now to get her army back together. Yeah, one mine hit is not the saving grace, just moves in once more. Grizzly just trying to get mining done somewhere, but she's actually not even mining right now. Or is she? Well, I mean, there was some money getting in because she probably just cancelled something. But yeah, she's not mining at the moment. Oh, she actually is mining. Okay, never mind. There are still some minerals left inside her main base, but it just won't help her as much. She just tries to siege up at the main ramp using her Liberators, but it's just all for naught. Now even pulling the SCVs. This is our last stand, boys. Try to fight the evil roaches, but it just won't be enough. Expect GG any minute, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing that Grizzly can to avoid it. I mean, being down to 25 supply to the 170 is just too much. At the same time, we had a little drop trying to save, to do something over here. But finally, Grizzly realizes this is over, and Novea takes the series with a 3-0.